Hi Creative Sisters, it's Kimberly from His Palette, and I am going to attempt to do a process video where I work on one of my mixed media pages in my Interleave Bible from start to finish with no edits. So wish me luck. This is the first time I am trying to do something like this. So you have seen my other pages, and let me just swing by them. You've seen this page, and then there's another page I did with flowers, and those are the pages people keep asking me about on how I went about creating them. So today I decided to, like I said, try to do a run through from start to finish of one of these pages. So today I am focusing on Psalm 8, and it talks about how majestic the Lord's name is. And I do a lot of layers, so let's get started. Before I put anything down, I want to mention that I put 2 layers of white gesso on this page and 2 layers of clear gesso on this page. The reason for that is, if you see on my other page that I did, for the white gesso on the blank page, so that looks really nice, and even though there's no bleeding, the shadowing has totally ruined the page over here. So I started doing the white gesso, and it helps to block any of the dark layers that I put on here, so I can still work on this page. And then this, I've been doing some inks and things on the actual Bible page, you know, around the words, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't bleed through to this side, so then of course I can do the same thing to that side. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm trying to do something similar to the girl and the flowers. I'm picking this Worship Girl. She's new in his palette print shop. And some flowers. And I thought maybe this brick stencil will look good, you know, kind of behind the scenes. So the color that I chose for the stenciling is from Ranger, and it's called Sky Blue, and I can't remember her name. It's Wendy something. It's not a Tim Holtz, but it is Ranger. So I'm going to use that as the color for the background. And one of these, which is now my favorite tool to create with. So I'm going to dip it in there. And so what I do, I'm sure you've heard of doing things in 3s when it comes to art. So that's what I try to do when I'm putting on layers. So I'm trying to get it dark closer to the edge of the page, but then as I go out, I want to do it lighter so there's no hard marks. So see how it kind of lightens as it goes towards the center of the page. So I'm gonna do one here, and then one up in the center as my 3. The one closest to the middle is always hard for me because I'm trying to get it as close as I possibly can. Okay, let's see. Well, it is what it is. And again, when I come out, I'm just kind of rubbing the last bits of color because I don't want it to be, see how crisp it is there? I don't want it to be crisp there. And then we'll do another one up here, but in the center. And then that will be our 3s. There we go. Also, I want to mention that anything that I say or tell you today is probably not artistically correct. I definitely don't know the terminology, so I apologize. I am literally showing you how me, a person who's never taken an art class, how I do my process. So I apologize if I get it all wrong. So that blue, it's like a blue-gray, right? I really like the way that looks. So then I'm just going to blow dry it a little bit with my heat gun. You can use a hair dryer if you want. I have a tendency to, I guess, if you will, over dry everything because I like things to be really dry, mostly in between all of my layers. Okay, so the next step is I have this way that I scrape on paint that is not thin like you would do with, say, a credit card. It's very thick, and you have some control, but not a ton of control. So what I do is I get a little bit on my palette knife, and let's see, let's start here. So I'm going to dip that in a little bit there, get some paint there, and then maybe some paint down here. Okay, so then if you see how I scrape it, I'm doing it very light. You see that? Like, I'm not pushing down on the paper. I'm just moving the paint across the page. And then I also like, I either go side to side or up and down. I never go diagonal. And then with the little bit of extras, you can always just kind of go and make random spots over the page. Let me get some of this down. Get some of that crease right there. And this. And then, see, that looks too square to me. So then I'll go back over it just so it will kind of smear more. Maybe get some randoms, you know, with the little bits that are left. And then that's my first layer of paint. And again, I dry everything. I've never actually done a process video from start to finish without editing, so I'm not really sure how long this is going to take. Usually I speed through drying times and things like that, but I really wanted you to get an idea of how long it takes me to create a page and the real process that's in it, you know, without the, you know, the fast forward and the musical in the background. Again, I know some of you may have stopped drying long before I am, but I try to get my paint and layers really dry, so they're not mixing in with the next layer, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. We've done paint, the yellow. Oh, and by the way, this yellow is called Honey. Now I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I want to do some stamping. No, I might. So I have this gorgeous butterfly with the writing and the numbers on it. I got this from Cora. I'm not sure if it's Korea or... Anyways, I got it from this woman. She has a monthly box of vintage like items. Usually they're like replicated, but they're so beautiful and they are really high quality. So I get a box from her every month, and so this came in this month's box. Isn't it so pretty? So now I'm gonna take you know, I like to use some really liquidy black ink. I do have the drier ink, but I don't want this to be really neat. I want it to be kind of messy. So I'm going to use my wetter ink. And hopefully this, I haven't tried this yet with a rubber wooden block stamp, so hopefully it'll work. So it'll do. So now what I'm doing is, I'm not sure if you noticed, after I stenciled, I had this area that was empty. So then when I came back in with that honey colored paint, I tried to get it mostly in those empty spots. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this stamp, is I'm going to try to stamp it around the page in some of those empty spots. Oh yeah, that came out really good. Let's go right there. Maybe just do a smidge of one right here. Okay, perfect. Okay, not too bad. And then the ink I used was the VersaFine, and because it's so wet, I absolutely dry afterwards. I have a tendency to touch my page while I'm working, and it wouldn't be surprising if at the end of this process it was just a bunch of smeared paint and ink and all of that, because I am not a neat creator. I am not a clean creator. I usually get it all over the place, all over me. So we're going to dry it just a little. Okay, so before we started, I picked out supplies that I was going to use for this page. And I have this Tim Holtz like distressed flower vintage looking washi, and it's going to go really well with the flowers that I have picked out. So I'm going to grab some of this washi, and then again I'm always trying to fill in spots that are empty. So like right there is empty if you take in consideration the stencil and the paint and the stamp. So there's empty, that's empty right there, it's empty up there. So I mean, that's where I see it. I hope you're seeing it that way as well. So just plop it down. So I'm going to do this one up and down. I don't know if this is like an artistic rule. I mean, not that I really follow the rules or know the rules, but generally, like with my stamping and the washi and things like that, oh, and the paint, I go horizontally or vertically. I don't go diagonally. So I don't know if that's a thing or if it's just my preference. Okay, I like that. Let me cut off this edge. Okay, I'm thinking I might want to add another color of paint. Well, let's try it. I have this, you know, I'm so bad at matching color or paint with product that I'm using bright green, but I don't even know if that's the color I should be using. So, let me throw it on a block. Oh, goodness. Is there none left? Oh, it's all watered down. Did not shake it enough. Let's try it again. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's the green. And then let me grab this. This is my palette knife. And I'm just going to pick a little bit of green up. I really don't even want that much. And then again, I'm picking empty areas to throw this on. This one, I just want to do like almost a dusting of it. I want to do it really light. I'm sure I didn't even need that much green. But I'm not only messy, but I am a waster as well. And then I'm just putting some random ones like I did with the yellow. Just trying to get them other places. And then I would like to kind of cover part of this washi so it kind of blends in. Oh, well, we'll move that around. Do it here too. And move that. Okay, I think we're good with the green. And I know the green looks really vibrant right now, but we will be putting on a layer of watered down gesso, and that will push all of this back in the background and instead of the forefront of the piece. Okay, so then let me show you the container. There is a friend of mine. She owns Paper Harbor Company, and she has the most beautiful vintage and vintage replicas that she sells on her Instagram page. So definitely check her out. I'm going to use her flowers in this. And this is the flower number, you know, if you wanted to order it yourself. So, let's see. So I have a bunch of these flowers that came in it. And so these, I know I'm picking for my background. I am going to cover them with a watered down white gesso. I do have some other ones that I really like that will probably go on top of everything and be an image in the forefront. And then, of course, I can't forget my worship girl. So let's see. I see a spot that's really wet. Let me get that dry. Just double checking. Okay. So I'm going to look through these flowers. Oh, I like that rose. Again, There's two things I'm doing here. And so it's not only like looking for an empty space, but it's also like, especially with my washi, I like to overlap some of the layers. So it's just not this strip of washi tape. So, like this rose, I could put right here. So I got a little empty space there, and it's overlapping the washi and a little bit of the stamp. So everything is kind of peeking out. Is, I guess, the what my intent is when I'm doing this part. So let's see. I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do a glue stick. Even though it's messy, it works. And there are other layers going on top of this, and of course that will help it to stay down and not come up. So there's one of them. I really like this yellow too. I think I'm going to bring this yellow over here to the side. Let me see if I can get it in the, kind of in the, where the binding is. Oh yeah, I got it. When I was applying, die cuts and different types of ephemera, I would always use my matte gel medium. And I am currently taking a course. It's called Wanderlust 2021, and it's a mixed media course. And I've noticed that a lot of the artists on there, they'll use plain white glue. So that's what I started doing. So here, empty spot, but then I want it to go up to kind of cut off my washi. Oh, yeah, I like this. Because there's that red or, whoops, that red or, reddish, I don't know, vermilion maybe is what it's called in the Worship Girls shirt. Wow. Oh, wait. This I could do, right down here. And I think I definitely want to do one that isn't facing up and down. Goodness. So, maybe here. Try to get right in that seam. And then I wanted just a smidge of blue in it. Trying to think if there's any spot I can put this. I could do that going off the page, I guess. Or no, maybe on the other side. I just don't want to cluster them all together. Oh, maybe right there. There, and then I'll cut that out, or cut that off when it dries. Okay, so I'm going to put these to the side for now, but I might end up using them in another layer. Okay. So I have this other washi, and it's got handwriting on it. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to put this on there too, so it has some of my writing element. I always like to have like handwriting in the background. Let's see. So there, that looks empty to me, and then I'm going to rip it here. Okay. And then this one, I can put up and down, right there. Maybe one more. Again, I'm doing things in threes, or even if I'm not doing them in threes, I try to do them in odd numbers. So I think the flowers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I did it. You know, I'm breaking my rule. And you know, that's what rules are meant to be broken. So I'm a more is more kind of girl. So, but what I like to do is stay in odd numbers. So I meant to do 5 little bouquets of flowers. Do that, layer that over. Okay, so now I might be able to trim this off now. Okay, trim that off. So now I'm going to mix up. I have the Liquitex white gesso. I like this one with this dark navy label. There is one that is a lighter blue label, and it's really grainy. This one is really smooth, which is what I like. So I put some of the gesso in there, the white gesso, and then I'm going to put a little water in there. And then what did I do with my brush? Oh, here it is. Okay, I actually probably need more water than that. So I'm doing a watered down gesso. So of course I don't want anything actually full coverage. I just want to push some of it back. So one of the things that I do when I'm at this stage is I kind of stick the watered down gesso to, I don't go all the way to the edges, you know, so I'm kind of keeping it in the center, maybe just going close to the edge, but not to the edge. And I'm patting it and not really painting. I'm patting. Hoping you can see that. And for me, I'm able to control the white. There's no harsh lines. Ooh, trying to get that off there, sorry. You know, there's just, it kind of just falls where it needs to go. And then if I get something obviously too much, like I didn't want to get all the way to the edge there, and I do want my washer to be seen, so I'm just going to kind of go over that, wipe up the gesso off of that. Okay, let's see. You know, I can look here and see these darker greens that I want to lighten up, push towards the back. Oh, goodness. Try to get the rest of these greens, and then maybe, yeah. Another great thing about it being watered down is it doesn't really dry as fast, I think. At least for me, it doesn't. And so I feel like if I do too much, you know, and have too much of a solid coverage on something, I can always, I have time to pull that back up. So I'm not stuck with, you know, solid white over something. Okay, so I'm going to dry this at this stage. And we'll probably do another layer of the watered down gesso. And so even here where it's kind of pooling and in there on the paint, I know that for painters that is not ideal. But for me, what I'm going for, where I don't want any harsh lines and I want it, I don't know, I don't know the word for it, but I'm going to say it to flow. Like everything kind of flows into the thing next to it or the thing on top of it. And so with the puddles, it brings you in different lightness and darkness of the white that you're putting on all these elements at this point. Okay. I think I'm ready for another layer because there's some parts I do want a little darker. So what I'm going to do is tap around the page. Try not to get it in my binding, which I do all the time, by the way. Okay, so I want, obviously not this flower. I don't want this flower covered because it's kind of towards the edge, but the ones that are in the middle, I want, again, not full coverage, but I don't want them to be bright and vibrant, you know? So I want to push them back. I'm going to try that. I'm feeling like on this page that compared to my previous pages, this doesn't have enough going on in the background. Not enough flowers, maybe not enough writing, but we'll see. You can always add another element or the same element but on a different layer. Okay, so now I'm going to add her in. Probably down here. You know, I'm going to use this new paste that I started using. Again, it was something I found from Wonderlust. And it's called Yes Paste, and it's all-purpose stick flat glue. I really like it, and it stays. I think it stays wet longer, which gives me time to move my piece around if I don't like it. Where I place it, you know, the first time, I can still move it around and then readjust where I have it. Okay. So let's do her. I'm gonna move her just a smidge over there. No, maybe move her there. Okay, and when I use really any kind of glue, when I'm putting on a piece like this, I like to scrape it with an old card. This is a really old card, Borders, just to try to get any wrinkles out. Okay, one thing that I did forget that I have been doing on all my pages to give it a kind of a vintage look is using some Distress spray stain from Tim Holtz. And I keep going back to this antique linen. It really seems to work with the kind of pages that I'm doing. So instead of spraying it from a distance to have spray marks, again, I'm just trying to make the page look older and maybe stained. So I want to do it closer. And I think with her, we'll start from this side. So, ooh, got some on there. And then there, there, and out of this one. Get the new bottle out. Oh, of course. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want it in my crease, or in my binding. Oh, perfect. That worked out. I tried to be completely prepared for this, and I ran out of my Distress spray. Okay, so maybe some right there. Oh, that's good. Oh, wow. By the way, just in case you didn't know, don't shake ink when it's open. Okay. So then I'm going to dab it, you know, and kind of spread it while I dab. I love this right here and this up there. Okay, so I'm going to use this again on another step, but I like to get like a bottom layer of it and then come back and do it after I put some more white paint on and blend her more into the page. And I hope you're understanding my process. Honestly, it makes sense in my head, and it may not make sense to anybody else. But this is how I do it. Okay. So first of all, I splattered that there. Okay. So I'm going to move this a little. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, if it's enough. If it's not, I'll grab some white paint. But I'm going to finger paint with it around these edges that were the Worship Girl and ripped to kind of blend it into the page. I may need paint. I think I did use paint last time. I'm going to grab some paint because I need it to be a little more opaque when it's next to her. Okay, so there's that. And I'm just going to kind of go dab around her. So she is blending into the page really good. And I'm stopping over here where I have these stains because I like those stains. But if you did this before you did the stains, which I probably should have, but if you do it before, then you would do it, you know, all the way around her. Okay, so I am going to come back in. You know what? Nope, I'm going to stick with the white paint. And I'm going to go through it. Goodness. And just go and see pieces that I want to push back a lot or completely take off the page. So, you know, sometimes there's just things that I'm like, I don't like the way that looks. And I'm just brushing it lightly with my finger. Oh, goodness. And see, you can even still see the green when I'm doing this. And I keep rubbing. I don't want, again, any hard lines. Oh, I think I'm going to do right there. I really don't like that. I'm so glad you can't see my face right now because I'm pretty sure I just put white paint all over my face. I told you I'm a hot mess when I do this. But I like the results. Oh, wrong thing. One more paint. Okay. Gonna dry that a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the flowers that I wanted more in the forefront. I'll put those there. Actually, I'm going to grab some more of this and put some over the white pieces too. Just doing this so it doesn't spill or drip down into the side there. And I know, yes, this will stain my hands, but for time and because I forgot to get my little finger covers ready, we're doing it this way. I'm also going to use my little white spray bottle. I mean my water spray bottle, and kind of move it that way. Give it a little bit of freedom, I guess. And you see how they're coming out like coffee or tea stains instead of like splatters and sprays. That's how I like it to look. Okay, now because of this linen, the color there, and the background color of this washi, I'm going to use a little bit of, this is FolkArt Vintage White, so it's not the bright white. And I'm going to, again, I'm going to put it around with my finger. Now I don't want to cover up all the bright white because I have both in here. I have, you know, she's white. There's white bits throughout here. So I want to do both. I want to have pieces of white and pieces of the off-white or cream or whatever you want to call it. Maybe one or two more. Okay. And I'm going to dry that a little bit. Okay, I am going to take that vintage again. I don't like how white she is almost all over, so I'm going to spray her a little and then do some of that, the water spritz to kind of, whoops, to get her to have some color. There we go. So now she'll have that antique, the antique white or antique linen kind of color, where there's still bits and pieces of white, but I'm giving her a little bit of that stain too. And I'm even thinking about possibly going back in and doing a couple more stamps of these butterfly stamps, because since I pushed them back, I don't feel like I feel like there should be maybe one or two standing out. So I'll go back and do that. Okay, so not sure, 1, 2, I'm not sure. Okay, let me grab my stamp. I think I want one like over here. There we go. Kind of overlaps her. I like that. And then maybe one right up there. Oh yeah. So then we have some in the background and then some on top. And then I'm thinking that I want to add just a little bit more of the yellow. You know, I can see all the greens coming through, but I'd still like to see this honey color come through a little bit. There we go. Let's take this out from here. And not a lot, you know, just enough to kind of break up the other colors and the lack of color, you know, with the white and the antique linen. Maybe one other spot. I'm thinking right here. That might be too much. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I liked how that turned out. So to me, this looks, it looks vintagey, but it looks chunky, and I like that. I like the junk journal look. I haven't figured out how to make those yet, but I really like, that's what's so great about mixed media is, you know, you can do a bunch of things wrong and still fix it, and you can still come out as a really beautiful piece. And for me, that is very helpful. Okay, so another thing I'm going to do is, what did I do with it? Not there. Okay, I've completely lost, oh, there it is. I covered the washi, the flowered washi here with her, so I think I want to add another washi maybe down there, because you can see these peeking out, but not much of that. So I think I'm going to put just a smidge of this down here. Maybe overlapping her shirt a little. Okay. And then back to this watered down white. And just real light tapping towards the middle part again. even might tap a little bit of her. Oh yeah, I like that. Not trying to get all the way to the edge, but close. Okay, that might be good. Might be ready for our finishing pieces. Now, as you see here, you know, I'm sure we all noticed that when I was working, I got that linen, that antique linen spray on this side, and though I did not mean to, it still works out with this this double page because I have the stains over here. I mean, those are intentional, so you know, nobody really knows that I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that might be dry enough for now. So, again, I'm going to bring these back. These are the ones that I liked enough where I thought maybe they should go on top. So, first of all, Calla Lilies are my absolute favorite flower. So, there's 2 Calla Lilies in this Paper Harbor package. So I definitely want to utilize those. So maybe that one can go like, kind of block her a little bit. And then this isn't dry up here because I think I found spots to put it up there. Okay, so this one might be good, like right there. Let's see, what else do I have? I don't know, I kind of like the red and yellow in this. This one. Not really sure. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, right there. And then that may be it for flowers. But let me just look. Oh, maybe I could do this one. Sorry, I have no words for my thought process right now. Okay. So maybe this could go where this yellow is. Well, no, I don't want to block that. Oh yeah, right there. That there. And then I need something to come off the edge because I won't be happy if there is just 4 flowers on there. So let's try maybe this one coming off the edge here. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna get the glue stick again. We're gonna glue these flowers down. That one I want to do first. Ah, probably not a very good way to use a glue stick, but that's what we're going for. That's what we're gonna use for now. Grab this, add a little more glue under there. Okay. Really like this. And I don't know if you can actually tell how messy I am, but it's a skill. It really is. I can get, actually, before I started videotaping, when I was prepping this page for this video, I had put on the white gesso, and I went to go and change my shirt before the video so I could be sure not to get anything on my shirt, you know, when I'm painting. And so when I went to go take my shirt off and change it, I had already gotten white gesso all over the shirt. So yeah, I was able to get most of it out, thankfully, because it was still wet. But yeah, I was trying to do good. I was trying not to be so messy, but even when I try, I seem to get it everywhere. Okay, there's that. Okay, wipe my hands because I've got tons of glue on it now. Okay, and then my last Calla Lily. This we will put, we decide right there. Oh, I think that's good, yeah. Okay, pull this out of the way for a minute. Okay. Let me trim this one off. Goodness, so sticky. Switch this around. So now, what I like to do is I like to use a top layer of clear gesso, and the reason is because I don't know if you can tell in this video, but there are parts of this page that have a little gloss to them that still have some shine, and then there are parts that are completely, excuse me, a matte finish. So I like it to be all one or the other. So I am going to grab my favorite clear gesso, Art Basics. I'm going to put a layer of that on there to kind of seal it, and then it will matte, you know, make everything be a matte finish. Okay. I'm always trying to get in that seam, aren't I? Into the binding. Then let me I'll just grab this brush and just kind of lightly brush it over the top. Make sure you want to get every part of the page so you don't have any pieces that are glossy or shiny. Okay, so there's that. Let's try that a bit. I'm not sure if I can say that this one turned out like my previous ones. And I think that's because of the colors that I'm using. These colors are a bit more vibrant. And on the other two pages that I did, there was a lot of white or cream in the flowers that I used for those. So these are pretty vibrant. Yeah, that's great. So all of that matte from the paint and, you know, the bits of glue is now a completely flat color. It doesn't have any shine on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to leave this here in this very spot. I'm going to go get a snack. So I will leave this here and I will grab a snack, and then I will be right back to finish up with some finishing touches and for the title or the word that I decide to use for this page. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in a minute. Hi guys, I'm back. I grabbed a couple of Big Newtons and got me some fuel, and I'm back. So I realized that you probably missed a lot of the stuff that I did down here with the washi and the flower, because I didn't realize this part was cut off, but I've moved it up now, and we are going to finish this page right up. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is maybe put the title in, and I'm going to use these thicker alpha stickers. And let me grab these out and put them right here. Okay, so I want to read the Bible verses to you that I was meditating on while I did this page. And again, it's Psalm 8, and it reads, "O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens, out of the mouth of babies and infants. You have established strength because of your foes, to still the enemy and the avenger. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Yet you have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings, and crowned him with glory and honor. You have given him dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, and also the beasts of the field, the birds of the heavens, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the sea. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth." So after spending time reading those, I want to put the word majestic as my title, and so that is what I'm going to do with these. So let me see. Do that. Now I have I have quite a few journaling Bibles, and things happen to fall out of them a lot. I guess because they're not really pasted down enough. I actually use a little glue when I'm pasting down my alphas, because those seem to come up really often, especially when I'm doing mixed media. Because of the background, the texture of that, these the adhesive on the back of these don't stick as well. So I'm going to put a little glue on these, and we are going to add our title. So go there. And I just dab, you know, a little glue along the back. Now, as you can see, majestic is not going to fit across there, so I'm gonna put the title down in 2 lines. Oh, look at that. I was trying to spell that word wrong. This is why I usually write down my titles on a piece of paper so I can reference back to them so I don't spell words wrong. But it happens anyways. Let's move that over a little bit. And then I had 1 E left. Got that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there's my S that I tried to put down earlier. We'll put that like underneath here. Maybe right there. I think we're gonna need a little bit of room for the chi. Okay. Grab this. And then I don't want to forget the dot for my eye. Okay, so now I want to come back over to my Bible page and add some transparent part of this page to here to kind of bring them together. So I am going to grab the stencil that I used, and as you can see, right from the get-go, I marked off the scripture I was working on. And what I'm going to do is I am going to put this brick stencil on like I did over here, but I'm only going to do it around, I'm going to try at least to do it around the box and not in the box. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully it does. Okay. I'm hoping I can keep it up there. Let's see. So hard for me to hold these down. But hopefully we'll get it going. Just trying to get it to get close, but not to cover the box. Okay, and then come down here and try to match this up. Let me see. Oh, like that. So then I can do the bottom portion. Again, trying not to cover inside the box. Oh wow. Okay, I like how that turned out. And now I'm thinking for a final touch here that I want to add one of these leftover flowers. Or maybe that. Not really sure what way's up, so I probably shouldn't do that. Maybe this one. And if I have it just in the corner up here, oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Whoops, maybe like right there. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that just a little bit off. Oops, almost. Okay. So I think that's going to be done, except for a date stamp. So I am going to spend a couple of minutes just kind of looking at this and seeing if there's anything else I want to add. But I'm pretty sure that this is done. I will take a still picture and post it in Instagram and on Facebook, so you can see a photograph of the finished product. But hopefully this little video helped you to kind of understand what my thought process is while I am creating these mixed media pieces. Thank you so much for joining me, sisters. I love you. God adores you, and so do I. Have a blessed day.